Do you feel that you are doing great in a day, but somehow you could do more? Do you feel that if someone could actually organize your day, it would be so much easier for you to get things done? Well, I believe that if you have a plan, a long-term plan, it would be so much easier for you to get to your vision. And let's see how we can get it done. Welcome to my channel. My name is Alain Faber, and I'm a high school teacher who decided a few months ago actually, that I wanted to prepare for retirement, and therefore I figured that if I started to become a better speaker for adult and not just for teenagers, that would be my first step for that. And here we go on this YouTube channel, sharing with you what you can learn, getting the new skills to get better. So why is it important to have a long-term, excuse me for the shake. How come it's important for you to have a long-term plan? Well, the idea of a long-term plan gives you a chance to see what you need to focus on a day-to-day activities. For example, I shared with you many times that I would like to be a public speaker. It's hard for me to speak in front of a group of adults, but in front of a group of teenagers, it's easier. And that's why I joined the Toastmasters. It gives me a chance to practice, and I think I'm doing much better. I created this YouTube channel for me to find ways to practice public speaking skills, and you as my audience are learning skills to do better, but at the same time it's allowing me to get better as well. So we're all getting better here. What is interesting is, how do we plan for the long term? Well, we can plan for the long term where we plan the day, where we know what we have to do in the morning, the afternoon. We're going to plan the meals. On the other hand, you could decide, well, how about I could plan for the week. So for example, by the end of this week, I'd like to have it done. I have this or this project done, and therefore you will break down what you have to do throughout the week. So when you start on Monday, you know the steps you have to do to complete your projects. Now, some people have monthly plans. The monthly plans allows you to work on larger projects, and that gives you a chance to plan your month, break it down in weeks and in days so that you can actually achieve your goals. And you see, having a vision is important. So I want to be a better speaker, and I'm retiring in about 10 years. That means that I have 10 years to get better. For that, I can join Toastmasters, which I've done. I'm with them for a year now, and I have improved tremendously. I could have a YouTube channel like this one, and it's working as well. So my long-term plan is not weekly or monthly, but it is a 10-year vision. And that's interesting, because when I organize my time and I have let's say I have a few days where I could do all kind of activities, when I can think of my family, and when I took care of them, I can take care of my health. And when it's done, well, I can take care of my contribution, which is how can I get my skills even better. So instead of spending time on Netflix saying, oh, well, there's nothing to do today, because on a daily basis, there's not much to do when you have a vision that is 10 years down the road. On the other hand, having a goal for a 10-year goal gives you a chance to focus on what you can say yes to, but also what you could say no as well. Now, if you think of a company, companies don't necessarily have 10-year goals, but they have quarterly goals, because they have to report to their shareholders quarterly, and therefore that's a good way to plan as well. When you look at some of the thought leaders out there, they say people should have weekly goals, monthly goals, as well as yearly goals, and 5-year goals. Some people say 10 years is way too far from here. But the beauty of a 10-year goal, is for you to have a larger vision, knowing that a vision that is much bigger, that will allow you to focus your energy when you have some. And that's why I think it's wonderful. I remember Elon Musk in one of his interviews said that if you have a project, figure out what you have to do in the next 10 years to get it done. And once you have your plan, your 10-year plan, try to figure out how you can do it faster. Think about that. You do your plan, and then you can make it shorter by focusing on what matters for that plan. And the beauty of that is that if instead of 10 years it takes 7 years or 6 years, you are 3 or 4 years ahead of the game. And that gives you a chance to create new projects for you to contribute to make the world a better place. These are all amazing things to think about. So the question then is, what are the tips? Well, there you go. I have 3 tips for you to set goals so that you can better plan your day, your weeks, your month, and even your years ahead so that you can achieve more. My first tip is indeed my agenda. Using your agenda is very important because by using your agenda, you can set blocks of times during the day where you know what you will do. So I have, in the summer it's a bit harder, but I've been setting everyday times to record videos so that I can upload content to this YouTube channel, as well as block of time for my family, my health. And that has been very important. I use a paper agenda, but I'm using more and more calendar like a Google Calendar. It's free and it allows you to plan ahead. For example, I went to the dentist a few days ago, and I'm already starting planning for February of 2021. So it's part of what we need to do in life. My second tip will be to have a vision board as well as an achievement board. The vision board gives you a chance to put images and words that speak to you for where you want to go. The vision could be something you want to achieve in the next couple years, next couple decades, something you want to do next week. And the beauty of that is a constant reminder of what's important for you. And that will help you find what's important for you and more easily decide what you should say yes to and what you should say no to. Because it's important to start saying no. Because when you start saying no, you'll notice that it will free up time for you and you will not feel that you are upset or that you're wasting time by doing things you don't want to. That's why when you have very successful people, they have visions and they decide to do what's necessary for what's best for them and their family and their company. And they forget about everything else. And the reason for an achievement board is the fact that once you achieve something from your vision board, you transfer it to your achievement board. Because it's important to celebrate the victories, to celebrate your achievements, because that will give you the energy and the drive to say, look, this is what I wanted, this is what I want, this is what I've achieved so far, and therefore I know I can achieve the visions I have at this time. So don't forget to celebrate the small wins as well as the big win. For example, I have a family and I'm very proud of that. That was part of my vision boards years ago, and it's part of my achievement goal right now, and it's still growing because my family is an ever amazing part of my life. My third tip right now is for you to, I would say, take action. Once you set up information in your agenda, when you have a vision or a plan for the next month, the next week, you have a plan for the next year, you'll notice that you need to take action. Because if you don't take action, it will just be a dream, saying, oh, I have a dream to be able to be a speaker. I could have a dream, but that's not going to get me anywhere if I don't take action to make it real. So that will be the ultimate part, because planning is amazing. But if you do too much planning, or if you're just doing planning, are you actually going to get where you're going to want to get? That's a good question. Now, some of you will say, well, it's easy for you. You plan and you get it done. Well, it may be easy for me, but it's hard. This morning when I woke up at 6:30, and I went back, I turned my head saying, I'm going to just stay for 5 more minutes. And then when I woke up, it was 8:30. Can you imagine that? 2 hours had gone by. And in some ways, I felt it was wasted time and it didn't help the morning. On the other hand, I feel more rested, and therefore I found the positive of that. So there are a few things I had planned today that didn't get done. But that's okay, because there are a few other things that I was able to get done. So keep in mind that planning doesn't have to be set in stone. That's why I believe that daily goals are important, weekly goals are important, but also long-term goals. Because if you miss one of your goals for today, but your long-term goal is 1 year down the road, even if you don't do it today, it's not the end of the world, because you know that you have more time to do that. I'm not saying to just chill and watch Netflix and not take action at all. I'm saying that you take action, you do the best you can. If it's, you notice sometimes things go better than you expected, sometimes there's some difficulties, but that's part of the growth mindset. It's part of the growth because you're learning. When it works well, you appreciate the win and you learn from it. When you have some failures, you appreciate the failures and then you learn from it so you can go beyond. So these are my 3 tips for you. Use your agenda so that you can set blocks of time to get what you want to do. Second, have a vision board as well as an achievement board so that you see what your long-term vision is as well as what you've accomplished so far. And my third one is to take action, because if you forget to take action, you will not get anywhere. My call to action for you is the following. I want you to take your agenda and I want you to write down something, let's say an activity or something you need to do by the end of this week. And I want you to write down where in your week you will do that. It could be at lunchtime, could be after work. What I want you to do is to know that if you plan ahead for doing what is important, you will get it done. And on this, I will put a link to my playlist video called My Best Life Journey here to this side, and I'll see you in the next video.